The open secret to progress and development, if you ask me, is to ask. Always seek out knowledge, because growth begins within the mind and comes to life when we put our positive thoughts into action. Hi there, I'm Theodore Henry, and on That Tip for Success, we welcome you to Jamaica Magazine. Coming up on today's pages, 4-H members showcase their achievements, plus stakeholders exploring ways to make climate-smart agriculture widespread. And later in Urbanscope, work on new Accountant General's office as part of downtown Kingston redevelopment. Stay with us for all these and more in our half-hour package.
I remember when I didn't like school and Mommy used to have to wake me up.
Tabla, hurry up. You're going to be late for school.
Hey, now that I have a tablet, you don't need to wake me up. Since Mommy and Daddy bought me a tablet, I use my tablet for all kinds of cool stuff. I use my tablet to read books. I use my tablet to learn about history and science. I use my tablet to help with my homework. I even use it to talk to my daddy at work. Hello, Daddy!
Learning is easy and fun with a tablet. Take care of your tablet, use it wisely.
The future of agriculture in Jamaica is being secured by the work of the Jamaica 4-H clubs, as it continues to encourage and train our young people in the field. As we continue to celebrate Youth Month, we'll now look at some proud clubites from Portland who are showcasing some of the gains at their 2016 4-H Achievement Day.
Pumpkin, a very tasty vegetable grown all year. Rich in vitamin A, it helps to sharpen our eyesight and is known to have the antioxidant beta-carotene, which helps to prevent cancer. You can also eat the seed to reduce your cholesterol and boost your mood. The pumpkin's many benefits have set off the creative genes in persons, inspiring them to make just about any and everything from or with it. It was all on display at the Portland 4-H Club's Achievement Day 2016, held at the College of Agriculture, Science and Education in April. The theme was Youth Entrepreneurship, Stimulating Economic Growth and Development. From infant to high schools, the remarkable talent of the 4-H clubites was everywhere to be seen as they took on the Pumpkin Challenge. How about the soap? Now, where did that come from?
The idea came about when us sat as a committee, and I said we need to make soap, but I wasn't thinking of the bar soap. I was thinking of liquid soap. And then we started to pull ideas together and try and error, and that's how it came about.
Boundbrook Primary, meanwhile, had pumpkin bag juice to wash down the ton pumpkin from Coopers Hill Primary and Infant. Even pumpkin ice cream was there. And if you got a little tired from viewing the booths, that could be remedied with a pumpkin Nutri-Bar, pumpkin seed drops, or pumpkin protein powder, which you would have to mix into a shake. There was no getting away from pumpkin. This toddler made it quite clear. Some 23 schools from the parish participated in the event while vying for the top prizes.
As it relates to our agro-processing, I'm looking forward to being in the top 3 in that event.
The keen eyes of the judges were very busy checking every detail.
When we are judging the agro-processing events, we look for volume, variety, originality, the presentation, the labeling, the packaging materials that are used, and how marketable they are.
Before we get to their judgment, some information now about the 4-H Club's movement. Celebrating 76 years, the 4-H Club membership is now at a high of 102,000 island-wide. Over the years, it has been engaging the youth by way of training to become more involved in different areas of agricultural production.
Now we have what we call a REAP program, which is Rural Youth Employment and Entrepreneurial Program. And under that program, we take young people into a training setting. We provide them with entrepreneurial training. And at the end, once we recognize that the aptitude is there for business, for commerce, we assist them with the venture inputs to start their own business opportunity.
The 4-H clubs is also integral to the growth of the school gardening program and the development of young farmers.
The Development Bank of Jamaica, we have just signed off with them. They have committed to put in $5 million per year. Under our school farming initiative, which is a big program for the 4-H clubs, we offer some 107 scholarships, agricultural scholarships annually. I want to thank the management and leadership of the Development Bank of Jamaica, because they have just doubled the scholarship resources under the Rio Tinto scholarship program. So we'll be able to do much more than 107 agricultural scholarships this year. We believe that our farmers must be educated, they must be well trained. We want a new cadre of young farmers.
The Portland 4-H Club's Achievement Day 2016 was a success, and many happy troopers walked away with prizes and being crowned champions in their respective age groups and categories, setting a standard that stood out among their peers. The 4-H clubs making a difference in the lives of Jamaica's youth.
I remember I was teaching some students table setting and sandwich making, and the little girl turned to me and said, "Miss, I didn't know that 4-H was so nice. You can come down here on a Saturday and teach us all that stuff." We have seen where persons were shy and now they're excelling because of the exposure. They have the chance to do public speaking.
We are preparing persons in a holistic way. So we are not saying academics only, because you do have to apply your academics to come up with these ideas. But we are saying become a wholesome person.
The 4-H club relevance is greater today, and it is impacting the agricultural sector.
They were heading home, playing in the streets just like they always did. When
I'll see you again.
My name is Sheldon Bell. I barely survived. My friend, she didn't. I'm now much more careful on the road. You should be too.
330 Jamaicans died in road crashes in 2014. 99 of the deceased were pedestrians. Road users, obey road rules. Walk, drive, and ride with care. Remember, road safety begins with you.
Climate-smart agriculture is a key strategy to increasing production. The ultimate goal is to meet the demands of the local and export markets and mitigate the threats posed by climate change. In our next feature, a panel of professionals zero in on solutions to the issues of climate change impact on the agriculture sector.
Climate change is real, and Jamaica has suffered huge economic losses each year as a result of its impacts on lives, livelihood, and infrastructure. Climate-smart decisions and actions are important to protect livelihood and ensure food security. A 2-day symposium was held recently to raise awareness of the benefits of a climate-smart approach to agriculture. Knowledge sharing, networking, and promoting climate-smart investments formed the basis of the second JA Reach 2 Climate Smart Agriculture Symposium. The USAID funded Jamaica Rural Economy and Ecosystems Adapting to Climate Change 2, or JA Reach 2 project, co-hosted the symposium with the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries at the Jamaica Pegasus on September 13 to 14, 2016, in partnership with other stakeholders. The symposium ended on a high note with an engaging roundtable discussion which brought together representatives from the private and public sectors. These include financiers, government agencies, persons from academia, and agri-entrepreneurs. The roundtable examined the national policy framework needed for climate-smart agriculture CSA adaptation, the costs versus benefits of mainstreaming CSA, international financing opportunities for CSA, systems barriers to investments in agriculture locally, Opportunities in CSA for diversifying the credit portfolios of financial institutions, financing microinsurance to improve affordability and access by farmers, as well as unlocking opportunities within the value chain to support climate-smart upgrades.
Agriculture contributes approximately 6.7% to GDP. It's the second largest employer in terms of contribution to the labor force, from 17, almost 18% contribution of the labor force in Jamaica. Export earning from traditional crops, some US 25.5 million, and earnings from food crops, 126 million, and it's projected to expand another 5% over this current year. Over the last 10, it's probably 14 years, approximately $26 billion in terms of impact damage.
Agribusiness entrepreneurs face several challenges as they seek to play their part in economic recovery and growth. Access to suitable financing and markets, as well as production and supply contracts, are among key issues. The handicaps to the business extend beyond the man-made anomalies which lecturer in economics Dr. Andre Houghton explained can be solved.
Given the handicaps, the internal and external shocks, our agricultural industry has not been able to attract the type of funding that we want. Now, I've looked at some of the handicaps that we face here, and basically the hurricanes has been a problem. But not only that, the drought issue over the last couple of years has impacted our agricultural produce negatively, mainly in the summer areas. The aim is, how do we help the industries to grow and help the small farmers to grow? And as well, how do we help the lending institutions to understand that farming in some instances is a long-term thing?
The mindset of the banks is changing as their understanding of the challenges and mitigating solutions increase, allowing them to craft more suitable financial and risk management products, particularly in microfinancing and insurance. Small farm holdings can now benefit from products such as GK Insurance's livelihood protection policy and alternative credit risk assessment models, which make it easier for banks to understand a farm's capacity to repay.
The World Bank reports that banking sectors in developed countries lend a much smaller share of their loan portfolio to agriculture versus the share of agriculture to GDP. And this results in reduced investments in both agriculture by farmers and for agro-enterprises. Now, this manifestation suggests that banks, it's not an issue of liquidity. It's an issue of willingness to lend to the agricultural sector. And this is due mainly to a lack of capacity and structures to adequately deal with risks and the whole business of agriculture.
We are throwing open to questions now from the floor. What would you say perhaps are the two biggest obstacles you find in trying to obtain financing? If you were to say 1, 2, what would those be?
One is the financial institution that offer the lowest rates. They do not facilitate you as an individual before them.
Tell me what that means.
It means that they tell you to go through the commercial banks in order to make your proposal to them, and the commercial bank is now supposed to bring the proposal to and then get back to you, the party. The second obstacle is the persons we are sitting with now who want to offer you the loan, their interest rate is like 2 digits. No, you don't want that. When you have the development bank or other institution who might want to give you 9%, 8%, 4%, but you cannot get to them.
Yeah, we've been looking at access to financing. Germany, their government has a commercial bank leg to their thing. So in Jamaica, what we have is that the DBG and the main institutions, they use the Scotiabank and so on as their intermediaries to deal with it. You understand what I mean? Instead of going to them directly and cutting out the middleman. So Germany has cut out the middleman, because what Germany realizes is this: when they are trying to push production, because the commercial bank is in a profit maximizing frame of mind, the commercial bank, one, is going to offer their lending instruments first, and then secondly, if they offer the lending instruments of a DBG or so on and so forth, then it's cumbersome to access it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Horton, and over to Mr. Chin.
We're one branch, and so we have to rely on the network that is out there in the commercial banks and also in the microfinance institutions, like a Jamaica National.
What happens if we don't go this route, the climate smart agriculture route?
Effectively, if we don't solve the problems of agriculture, then the growth that we talk about and preach about is not going to happen.
I think there are perhaps 4 specific areas from a financial standpoint which we have to get right. First one being to identify the specific needs of our small stakeholders. How do we get to them, through what channels? Find ways of de-risking agricultural lending. And this is as it relates to climate smart or just lending to agriculture, period. Initiatives like credit enhancement guarantee, which will provide some assistance as it relates to collateralizing your loan. So that's 2. We have to identify the most important delivery channels to get funds to the agricultural sector. Is it the PC Bank? Is it the commercial banking network? Or do we set up something else?
So fruitful were the discussions among stakeholders that the sum total of the knowledge and proposals shared are now destined to help create the platform for growing Jamaica's agricultural economy in the face of climate change. An online climate-smart agriculture community of practice was also introduced, which is intended to seek broader involvement of stakeholders from diverse backgrounds in order to continue the information exchange beyond the symposium.
Significant real estate development is taking place as part of the Downtown Kingston Redevelopment Plan that's spearheaded by the Urban Development Corporation. Our next feature looks at the scope of work taking place at one of several government entities relocating headquarters to the capital's waterfront.
The Urban Development Corporation UDC continues to advance and spearhead the redevelopment of downtown Kingston. Among the projects being undertaken is the rehabilitation of a section of the former Oceana Hotel building on King Street, previously occupied by the Ministry of Health, to become the new offices of the Accountant General's Department, AGD. The rehabilitation of the AGD space continues to signal the growing interest in downtown Kingston as the seat of commercial, civic and governmental affairs. It also indicates confidence in the plans of the government to transform the area in line with Vision 2030. Hence, when the need arose to find new office spaces for the AGD, then all attention turned to the downtown Kingston area, and the UDC was enlisted to manage the build-out of the $400 million project along the waterfront. The relocation of the AGD offices to Oceana will also facilitate the advancement of the grant-funded Justice Square project on King Street, as the entity now occupies Public Building West in that locale. The role of the UDC as project manager encompasses design, technical oversight and preparation of tender documents, and overseeing implementation of the work, which should be completed in the fourth quarter of 2016-2017. These works include demolition, erection of walls, tiling, ceiling finishes, and installation of electrical and mechanical installations and air conditioning systems in collaboration with suppliers and contractors. The area being rehabilitated covers a total of approximately 50,000 square feet and takes up a significant section of the ground floor of the multi-story Oceana building.
The AGD office is going to be housing approximately 269 staff members, and it consists of the Accountant General suite. It includes HR department, IT department, auditing department. They provide also a daycare for the children of the staff.
Electrical and mechanical work accounts for about 50% of the cost of the project.
That building is going to take about 150 fan coil units, that's AC cassettes. And so it's quite a lot of electrical components because the entire building was gutted and removed. So all the ductwork had to remove from the building. So it's been totally refurbished as far as electrical and mechanical installation is concerned.
During a tour of the facility in October, workmen were seen putting in ductwork, tiling and installing drywalls and pipes for air conditioning units. After all of that is done, other works will be undertaken such as painting, installation of doors and windows, and testing of the systems to ensure everything is in good working order. The face of downtown Kingston is indeed changing for the better. A number of key redevelopment milestones can be seen upon visiting the area, mostly facilitated by the UDC, such as the construction of the global headquarters of the multinational corporation Digicel on prime waterfront property. Work has also been done in the Market District by the UDC in collaboration with other stakeholders in upgrading the Coronation Market. There's also the construction of facilities such as the Festival Marketplace and the upgrading of the Kingston Craft Market, among other developments. Another significant entity being rooted in the capital city downtown Kingston on lands sold by the UDC includes the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. Their headquarters is being constructed along the waterfront adjacent to the Bank of Jamaica's car park. The Urban Development Corporation, committed to making development happen that will spur economic growth for the people of Jamaica. Join the UDC on Saturday, December 31, 2016 as they ring in the new year in style at fireworks on the waterfront. Activities begin at 2 p.m. and last until 1 a.m. on Sunday, January 1, 2017. There'll be a kiddies village with face painting, cotton candy, popcorn, rides galore, great entertainment and fireworks display at midnight. The entire Ocean Boulevard will be lined with vendors, food and beverage and many other treats and surprises. Log on to the fireworks promo page on Facebook for more information. To learn more about the work of the Urban Development Corporation, call 656-8031 or visit their website at udcja.com. You may also follow them on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, or visit their information center on the ground floor, Kingston Mall, downtown Kingston.
Urbanscope was brought to you by the Urban Development Corporation in association with the Jamaica Information Service.
Up next, top stories making news this week.
Hi there, I'm Simone Wolf with your JIS News of the Week. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has announced the creation of an Office of National Security Advisor and the appointment of Major General Anthony Anderson to the post. The National Security Advisor will be the principal technical advisor to the government, and a release from the Office of the Prime Minister says the appointment is a critical move in supporting and coordinating Jamaica's national security superstructure. General Anderson, who has served as Chief of Defense Staff for 6 of his 32 years in the Jamaica Defense Force, will be succeeded as CDS by Brigadier Rocky Meade. Meanwhile, National Security Minister Robert Montego says joint police military bases will be strategically set up at ports across the island to secure the country's borders.
We are establishing 2 JDF Infantry Coast Guard base. So we're putting that base right beside the cruise ship port in Montego Bay. And it will be a dual infantry and coast guard. We're putting another base in Westmoreland at the old Brigham Wharf.
He also welcomed the Jamaica Constabulary Force's decision to enlist serving district constables to boost the numbers and capacity of the JCF through a modified training program that is scheduled to begin in January 2017. And on Tuesday, the House of Representatives approved amendments to the Proceeds of Crime Act (POCA) to empower the Commissioner of Lands to transfer the ownership of seized property to the state. The amendment corrects a referencing error in the law which vested power in the Commissioner of Land Valuations to ensure that ownership of such property is transferred to the Crown.
The aforementioned error poses legislative difficulty when utilizing the said subsection to have such property registered in the name of the Crown. This hampers the efforts of the FID, as there are several applications currently before the court for forfeiture of assets post-conviction.
The Economic Program Oversight Committee, EPOC, this week reported that Jamaica has exceeded all macroeconomic targets for the 14th and final quarterly test under the Extended Fund Facility with the International Monetary Fund, the IMF.
So, not just a pass, but a very big pass for Jamaica for this 14th quarterly test.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Andrew Holness is projecting that Jamaica will grow faster than the 5% over the next 4 years that's targeted by the Economic Growth Council. He was speaking on Monday at a function to sign a declaration of intent for implementing the proposals of the Economic Growth Council.
This government will make sure that we are faithful to the sacrifice that the people have made. We deserve results. We are a great country. We will make Jamaica the place of choice. We will make Jamaica the center of the Caribbean region, the center of culture and lifestyle, of trade and commerce, the center for logistics, the center for technology and information. We will make Jamaica the great country that we were destined to be.
The Attorney General's Department has received ICT equipment to improve the efficiency and security of its document storage and sharing.
What these computers are intended to do is to connect up with all the legal departments of all the ministries. So we don't have to be sending, using messengers, a hard copy. By computer, we could do it by the internet, and it will save a lot of time. We will become much more efficient, which is exactly what we want in our government service.
Cabinet has approved the implementation of a rescue plan to increase arrivals out of the Canadian tourism market for the 2016-2017 winter tourist season.
Approval is for $275,000 to Jamaica Vacations Limited for seat support, and US $425,000 to the Jamaica Tourist Board for cooperative marketing and promotional support.
Visitors to Devon House in Kingston now have access to free Wi-Fi service courtesy of the Universal Service Fund as part of its Community Access Point program.
We are aiming to ensure that the entire Jamaica becomes what we term a digital society. This is the first heritage site to be outfitted with these services, and I must commend the USF on taking the lead in this initiative while fulfilling its tagline of bridging the information gap and providing internet access for everyone.
And finally, no major hiccups were reported from nomination day activities on Friday. Councillor candidates are vying for 228 electoral divisions in the 2016 local government elections, which will be held on November 28. In accordance with the law, the police, military, and election day workers go to the polls on Friday, November 25, 3 days before the rest of the population. And those were some of the stories making news this week. I'm Simone Wolf.
And this is where we take our leave on yet another enlightening edition of Jamaica Magazine. We value your feedback, so keep the link through our various social media platforms. Send an email to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm and visit our website, jis.gov.jm, for the latest on government information. Until next time, I'm Theodore Henry, reminding you to take care of your health, eat well, exercise, get adequate rest, and make every day a productive one.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.